Yes, today's topic is something like user administration. What is this? User administration. Yeah. So, what is user administration, guys? For example, this is our uh, Linux machine. For example, um, CentOS 9 is installed. CentOS 9 Linux OS is installed. Okay. So, how many users we can connect this server? For example, this is a multi multi-user operating system, right? Multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system means we can connect number of people at a time, right? Yeah. So operating system should be two types. One is single user operating system and multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system can connect multiple users at a time, right? So how many users we can connect? How many users? So we can connect something like so user should be two types, right? User should be two types. So one is normal user and super user. So super user, who is super user, guys? Root is the super user. Root is the super user. So root can, this is the, for example, is a super user. Is a super user means who is the super user, guys? Root is the super user. So what is the home directory for the root? Root is the home directory for the root. So home directory for this root. What these users are? These users are normal users. So normal users home directory. So for example, this is Hari. This is something like a pt. So slash home slash home something like magna. So Meghna, right? The normal users home directory is slash Hari, slash Kirti, slash Meghna. These are the home directories, home normal users home directory, and the root users home directory is slash root. So a root user can execute both bin and has been commands, right? Has been commands. The same like as a normal user can execute only bin commands because of a certain limit of permissions. Certain limit of permissions, right? Whenever a normal user created, when the home directory will be should be created under the slash home. So root user is already created while installing the OS, right? Mm, So how many users we can create in the Linux machine? So how many users, guys? So 60,000. How many users? So 60,000 users we can create in the Linux machine. So Linux machine. So something like what this every user having their own UID. What is that? UID and GID. What is that UID? UID is nothing but a user ID. User ID. So identification. GID is nothing but a group ID. Okay. So UID and GID. So whenever you create a user, right, it will automatically create the user IDs. It will automatically create the UIDs. Okay. So for example, root user UID. What is the root user UID? The root user UID is 0. What is the root user UID is 0. Normal users. So whenever we create the normal users, right? The normal users UID starts from UID and GID. UID GID starts from by default 1000. By default 1000. Right. So root user is 0. And what about so something like a 0 to 999. So normal user starts from 1000. But what is this 0 to 99? So 0 to 99, 0 is the root user. So something like a 1 to 99. System itself uses what is that? System itself uses system itself uses means system related users, something like whenever you created the HTTP package services, right? HTTP service, SSH service, all these services, the services should created the a default user. That user will assign the uh, 0 to 999. So 999, right? System itself uses 0 to 999. So all general users should be 1000 to 60,000. 1000 to 60,000. All general users uses. What is it? All general users uses. All general users uses 1000 to 60,000. Okay. So 0 to 999 system itself uses. System itself uses. So the UID should be 60,000. UIDs and GIDs are 60,000. UID, comma, GIDs 60,000. Okay, the UID and GID is 60,000. Guys, understood? Meghna? Yeah, guys. All users UID GID starts from 1000 by default. All UIDs and GID starts from by default 1000 by default. Okay. Yep, guys. All GIDs and UIDs starts from 1000 by default. Okay. Starts from 1000 by default. Okay. So you already know, right? UID GID 60,000. 0 to 999 is the system itself uses. 1000 to 60,000 all general users uses. So now you understood, right? But so where is the exact location? So we try to check. Virtual machine. Yeah, Oracle virtual machine. I'm starting the Oracle virtual machine. Red hat. e- Like is change this. So new session 192.168.0.107. Open, accept, group, red hat. Change settings, appearance, change. Yes. So what is the ID of the UID of the root, guys? Zero is the UID, zero is the GID, group also root, right? So for a user account, primary group is mandatory. What is that? Primary group. So how many groups we have? Primary group and secondary groups. So for a user account, primary group is mandatory. Primary group is mandatory. If you are not assigned to any group, user himself behaves as a group. User himself. So who is this? User himself behave as a group. So for a user account, primary group is mandatory. If you not assigned to any group, user himself behaves as a group, guys. User himself behaves as a group. So primary group is mandatory. So primary group is mandatory. Is understood? So for a user account, so primary group is mandatory. What is that? Primary group is primary group is mandatory. If you not assigned, if you're not assigned to any group, user himself behaves as a group, guys. User himself behaves as a group, right? So for any user account, primary group is primary group is mandatory. If you are not assigned if you are not assigned to any group, user himself behaves as a group. User himself behaves as a group. For example, so this is okay. This is so what is the UID of the root? UID of the root is zero. But so we need to assign any primary group. But here, so we did not assign any group because of, so that's the reason user itself behaves as a group. So these are the secondary groups. These are the secondary groups. So this is the example. This is the example. Okay. So how you can create the group, guys? What is the command? Group add. So group add is the command to create a system group. What is that? Group add is the command to create a system group. So for a user, it may be a primary or secondary. It may be a primary or a secondary group. It may be a primary or secondary group. And all groups information, all groups information available available in slash etc slash group. All the groups information will be available under which file, guys? Which database file? So for example, this is the database file for the it is a database file for the group. It is a database file for the group. So what are the example, guys? The example should be group add group name. What is the syntax? Group add group name. So group add hyphen g gad. What is the gad, guys? So you can create a gad and group name. So you can give this way, or you can give, you want to specify a group ID. You want to specify a group ID, you can do it. Okay. So for example, what is that? Group add HR. So group add HR will be created. Group add hyphen G. So 10,000, for example, NAG user or DevOps. So HR created, HR group created, and DevOps group also created. DevOps group also created. So for example, so where you can see these HR and DevOps groups. So the field, the directory, the file is nothing but a slash etc group, right? Or if you want to check the HR is created or not, grep HR slash etc group you can check the HR is created. So what are the fields in the HR? Something like, what are the fields? We'll check it. Yeah. So cat slash etc group. What is the database file for the, guys? Database file is slash etc group. In the slash etc group, you see. So what is the GUID? UID 0. So binno, daemon, sys, admin, disk. The system related will be created 999. System related itself created 999 to 999. So you see Hari. So Hari is already created. So Hari user is by default 1000. Hari user is by default 1000. So if you want to create a HR groups, group add. If you want to create a group add HR. So right, let's see. grep HR slash etc group. I'm specifying. I'm searching only HR group. Yeah, HR is created. So HR group is created 1001 because of 1000. Hari is created by 1000 and HR is created by 1001. No, I don't want a default UID. I want to create a my specific UID. You can create by using group add. So group add hyphen G small g, something like I want a fancy number 10,000 and DevOps. So DevOps group. Same again. You can check by using grep HR DevOps. You see, so DevOps 10,000 is created. Cat slash etc group. You can check it in the whole file. You see, DevOps is 10,000, HR is 1001, Array is 1000. Array is 1000. Okay. So Hari group also created because of I did not specified any group to the Hari user. That's the reason. So user himself behaves as a group. Now you understood, guys? So definitely you need to add the primary group. You need to add the primary group. Yeah. So what are the fields in the slash etc group? Fields are, first name is group name, the second one is GID, the secondary group members. What is that? Secondary group, so password and secondary group members. Okay. Yeah. So this is nothing but a group, guys. This is nothing but a group. So next, user add. How to create the user? To create a new user account. So what is that? To create a user account, we can use the user add command. What is that, guys? User add command. So we can create the user. So we can create the user. So what is the syntax? What is the syntax, guys? Syntax. Syntax for this user add. So what is the syntax? Hash user add options. What are those options? We have options under user name. The options you can provide, or if you are not providing, you can just create the user add username also. Okay. So what are the options we have? Hyphen u uid hyphen g is nothing but a primary group. If you are assigning to primary group, hyphen g hyphen capital G is nothing but a secondary group. Hyphen g hyphen d is nothing but a home directory. Hyphen c is nothing but a comment. Hyphen s is nothing but a shell. What is that? So hyphen s is nothing but a shell. So user add username. These are all the options. If you give, if you are not giving. So these all are the options. Okay. Something like whenever you create a user, the user details, the user details are going to store. Where the user details are going to store? Under the under where the user details are created under the slash etc passwd. What is the file name? The file name is passwd. The file is in under the slash etc. So what is that? Is the a database file. Database file. And user passwords. Okay. User the user The user details are under slash etc password, but the user password. So user password should be, or user passwords are going to store under the slash etc shadow, under the slash etc shadow database file. So right, so the slash etc shadow database file, the password should be available in here, and the user information will be available under the class wd. The user information will be under available under the pass wd. Okay, cat slash etc pass wd. So the user's information will be available under the slash etc password. The password information will be available under the slash etc shadow. What is that, guys? Shadow. So the password information will be available under the shadow. So for example, what is the root password Red Hat? So Red Hat is encrypted. This is the encrypted password. What is that? This is the encrypted password. Understood, guys? The password information should be available under the password information should be available under the slash it is passwd. Sorry, the password information is under the shadow file, and the user information should be in the slash etc passwd file. Slash etc passwd file. Yes, understood? Yeah. So shell you already know shell, right? Shell is used to interact with the system, or you can interact with the system. You can interact with the system to know how many shells. or so to know how many shells are available, to know how many shells are available, so you can check it in the slash etc shell. So how many shells are available? You can check it in the slash etc shell. So right, what is that cat slash etc shell? It will show how many cells. So we have so and bin bash. So bin bash is the default. So default shell for the all the Linux and Linux and Unix systems. So all the Linux and Unix systems. All the Unix and Linux systems. And you see here, yeah. So something like Hari user having the bin bash, Hari user having the bin bash, the other users, system related users, you see. So has been no login, has been no login. Most of the you see has been no login. So what is has been no login? What is bin bash? So bin bash is nothing but you can able to log into the server. You can able to log into the server. Has been no login is nothing but we are unable to log into the server, but we have created the user but unable to log into the server, unable to log into the server. Guys, understood? What is that? So slash bin slash has been no login. You said no login is a special is a special cell which gives no interaction, which gives no interaction with the system, which gives no interaction with the system, right? So for example, user add hyphen user add, so shall write hyphen yes, hyphen s has been no login, something like make in creating a user called as a magna. So the user is user we are providing the shell has been no login. Okay, grep magna slash etc password. Right, magna is created with has been no login. I'm giving the password passwd. How to change the password? Passwd username. Megan, Megan, Red Hat, Red Hat. Okay. So now I'm trying to log in with the duplicate session. I'm trying to log in as a Magna user. Magna user. Password is Red Hat. You see, I'm unable to interact with the shell. Why we gave the SBIN no login. Now I'm changing it to user mod hyphen s bin bash Magna. Okay. Now let's try to HR. Yeah. Now, before it is yes, bin no login. That's the reason unable to connect. Now it is bin bash. Let's check. Duplicate session. You see, now able to access. Now you understood the difference between bin bash and has been no login. Bin bash and has been no login. Guys, understood? Yeah, very good. Has been no login is a special cell. Has been no login is a special cell which gives no interaction with the system. No interaction with the system. No interaction with the system. Generally, all service user accounts, 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 generally, all service user acco User accounts are assigned with no login shell. Assigned with no login shells. Understood, guys? No login shell. So has been no login is a special cell which gives no interaction with the system. Generally, all the service user accounts are assigned with the no login shells. No login shells. Understood, guys? So something like a grep, no, no login. You can provide something like etc passwd. It will shows the to see the user list with no login cells. What is that? To see the users list with the no login shell. Users list with the no login shell. How to find out? Echo dollar shell to know working shell. What is that? To know the working shell. Guys, understood? To know the working shell. Echo dollar. Echo is nothing but a print statement in the shell prompt. Okay. So the in the scripting language, shell echo is the print statement. So which shell we are using? Bin bash. Right? Yep. Understood. Now we understood the user account. So now password to assign a password for the user account. So how to assign a password for the user account? So how to assign the password for the user account, guys? What is the command? Passwd. Passwd is the command. Is the command for assigning the password to the users. So password to the users. So to assign a password for the user account. So what is that? Passwd username. What is the syntax, guys? The syntax is passwd username. Right. So for example, passwd options. Here also we have options under username. Passwd options, username. So what are the options? So something like in the real time you see, right? Your password is expired, your password is locked. So IFL is nothing but a lock the password. Lock the password and hyphen u nothing but a. So after locking the password, you need to unlock the password, right? You should you should connect with the system administrator to unlock the password on your Windows machine, right? The same way here also. So we will lock the password, unlock the password, and D is nothing but a delete the password. So D is nothing but a delete the password. So passwordless login. So if you want a passwordless login, so you can use hyphen D. Hyphen capital S. S is nothing but a status. What is that, guys? So S is nothing but a status. We can see the status. So examples, guys. So what are the examples? So user add user one, for example. So user one is created without options. User add hyphen u. Hyphen u is nothing but a UID. I want to give the special UID for user two. So I created a use hyphen u. User add user add hyphen g HR. I'm assigning a primary group as a HR user three. So user add hyphen capital G HR HR. I'm assigning a HR as a secondary group for the user 4. User add a small g, hyphen small g as a HR, hyphen capital G as a DevOps, user 5. Okay, user add hyphen S has been no login, has been no login, user 6. User 6 is unable to access. Right. User add hyphen C. C is nothing but a comment. For example, FTP user hyphen S has been no login, user 7. So user 7 having the has been no login. Understood, guys? So what are the fields in the fields in slash etc passwd? What are the fields in the slash etc passwd? What are the fields, guys? The fields are something like a instructor, so instructor, password, ID, UID, GID, GID, comment, home directory, home instructor, and dash. Right. So what is this? This is one, this is two, three, four, this is comment file, six, seven fields. Right. Seven fields. So for example, if you took, yeah, what is this? So this is the, these are the seven fields. So who is instructor, guys? Magna is the instructor. This is the password. This is the UID, GID, comment, home directory, and bin bash. So right, what is that? One is nothing but a username. Username is nothing but a, it is used to, it is used when user logs in. Okay. Second, what is that? Password. Password is nothing but an X character. An X character indicates that encrypted password, it is stored in slash etc shadow shadow file. Okay. So third one is ID, UID. Fourth one is ID, GID, group ID. Fifth one is user ID info. For example, the comment field. What is that? Comment field. Comment field. It allow you to add extra information about the users, such as users full name, phone number, etc. You can use full name, phone number, etc. Is understood? So what is the sixth one? Sixth one is home directory. Seventh one is shell problem. What is that? Seventh one is shells. Is understood? This is nothing but a users information, user field. Same like as a password field. So what are the password fields? So password field is mm, what is the password field? So password field is grep cat slash etc shadow. For example, make okay. So what is this? This for make so this is the Magna username and password, guys. So what are those? So one is instructor, second one is password, third one is last password change, last password change. So fourth one is minimum number of passwords, maximum number of passwords, and warning. So what is that? Next one is sixth one is warning, seventh one is inactive mode, eighth one is expire. Eighth one is expire. Guys, understood. So what are those? So the first one is username. What is that? So username. The second one is password. Password. Third one is minimum. Minimum number of password. The minimum number of days required between password change. So the minimum number of password change. So fourth one is maximum. What is that? Maximum. The maximum number of days password is valid. So fifth one is so fourth one is maximum, minimum, last password change. Third one is, for example, also last password change. What is that? Last password change. Third one. So fourth one is minimum. Fifth one is maximum. Sixth one is sixth one is warning. Seventh one is inactive. Eighth one is expire. Expire the password date. Guys, understood? So this is the password. So this is the password change. Okay. So it's next what are those? User add. User add is nothing but a user add, user mod. If you want to modify any user, there as you want to modify home directory, or if you want to modify comment, or if you want to modify group name, primary group, secondary group. So what is the use? So you can use user mod. User mod to user mod is to modify a user account properties without deleting the user account. Without deleting the user account, you can modify the properties. Okay. So, so user mod options you name. So user mod options you name and a user to multiple secondary groups. So user you can add the multiple secondary groups also. User del. What is that? User del. So user del is nothing but a to delete a user account. So to delete a user account, user mod options user name, user add options, user name, user del options, user name. Okay, so we can modify the, you can add the user, you can create the user, you can modify the user, we can delete the user. So user del is nothing but to delete a user account options, right? So user delete. So user del option. So something like what are the options, guys? Options are hyphen R. Hyphen R is nothing but a recursively, recursively delete, recursively delete everything. Hyphen F. So forcefully, delete forcefully, even if the account is logged in. Log in. If the account is logged in, it will delete forcefully. Guys, understood? So what is that? User del, user del, user one, or user del hyphen rf user one. Here removes the user account, but it won't delete the his data. Where the data is available. So data is available under the slash home, slash home user one. This user, this user one is not, this home directory is not deleted, but user will delete it. If you use the hyphen f, it will delete, removes, removes everything related to user one. It will delete everything related to user one. Okay, guys, understood? So create a password. So now you understood, right? A password creation. So yeah. So something like ID, username. What is that, guys? ID, username. So ID, username is nothing but a, with this, you will get user login, user along with the group. So UID, UID, and along with the groups you can change. See it. Okay. So the last chase, chase command. So what is chase command? Change user password expiry information. So I want to change the password expiry information. We can use the chase hyphen chase command. What is the chase command? So for example, the command is chase hyphen l hurry chase hyphen m minimum hyphen capital M maximum days password change hyphen capital W warning 7 days hyphen I is nothing but inactive 5 days to user 2. Guys, understood? Min days 3, max days 60, warning 5 days, inactive 5 days, warning 7 days, inactive 5 days for the user 2. For the user 2. Nice, understood? So hyphen L is nothing but a, it will shows the password using information for the user hurry. You guys understood? So this is the way we can change the password. So same, what is the change options? Username. Chase options, username. So what are the options? So option should be hyphen D, set the date last change password, hyphen capital E, set account expiration, capital I, capital capital I is nothing but a set the password inactive as information. Hyphen L, small L is nothing but a to show the account information. Small m is nothing but a minimum days. So capital M is nothing but a maximum days. Capital W is nothing but a warning. Is understood? So these all are the options. So these all are the options in the these all are options. Guys, understood? Yeah, I want to change the password. Something like you are an administrator. I want to change the, so you give the some password to the developer. Developer wants to change the password after immediately login. Hyphen D0. D is nothing but a set the last password change. Zero. Zero means so immediately. So Hari will to to prompt user to change password at first login. Okay. So immediately after login to the first login to the, he will immediately change the password. So this is nothing but a user administration. Guys, understood? Meghna understood? No. Meghna is there? Guys, understood? Yep, guys. So we'll continue from tomorrow. Okay.